So I used to freeze every time while reading cases because no one actually ever taught me how to think through a medical case. So every time you read a case, you can ask yourself 5 questions, which I now actually do every time I read a case. The first one, the most basic one, and you always do, is that who is the patient, the personal history of the patient. For example, a 60-year-old male with a child, C cirrhosis, admitted because of upper gastrointestinal bleeding. Now you have a picture of the patient. The first question that you're going to ask is, what is happening right now? Okay, and the biggest mistake I used to make is that I used to hear this as the main disease. The examiner wants you to think about the main problem, not the main disease. So the disease answers what does the patient have, but the problem answers what needs attention right now at this very moment. What exactly is dangerous? What reads as dangerous? For example, the disease is cirrhosis, but the current problem is persistent circulatory shock. The shock is the one you need to manage at first, otherwise, your patient is going to die. So, this is something that we identify as danger. So, we have to identify our danger points, such as bleeding, hypovolemic shock, things like that. The patient may have had cirrhosis for years, but shock is what will harm the patient today, right now. So from that day onward, I stopped asking myself, what disease does this patient have? Instead of that, I always ask myself, what is happening right now that needs my attention? That one sentence changed how I read every case. And you should also think the same way, because you have to always look for the danger signs, the danger symptoms, or the dangers, because our main aim is always how to save the patient at any cost. Do you understand? So the next question in every case is usually, what clues tell me this? Never guess. Please don't waste your time. Read the case and look for evidences. Why do I think that the patient is in danger? Why do I think that the patient is in shock? Because in the case you can see words like blood pressure dropped 80/35, or cold extremities, mottled skin, high lactate. So every diagnosis should have evidence. If I cannot support this with evidence, I should think again. So after understanding everything, you should think about, what should I do now? This only comes after understanding the patient, alright? Then only you think about the treatment, not before. Ask, does this patient need immediate stabilization? Stabilization comes before everything on earth. Always remember this as a medical student. Every single time, every single case, you will always think about stabilizing the patient, because their life matters to us more than anything, not even diagnosis. Alright? So, does this patient need immediate stabilization? What investigation confirms any diagnosis? What treatment comes first? What complications should I prevent? So now management makes sense because I understand the patient first. So please, it's like really simple. Every time you get a patient, you will think about the current problem right now. What exactly needs to be changed or managed at this very moment? The dangers, alright? And then you will look for evidences from the case itself. Okay, it will be written in the case. You don't have to worry. You just have to find them. What exactly supports my danger point? And then why this happens. For example, okay, low blood pressure, why it happens? Because of bleeding. And then you will do the management. Give fluids, for example. That simple change is gonna make everything easier to organize. Do you understand? So every time you read a case from now on, first, who is the patient? Second, what is happening right now? Right now. These words you're never gonna forget. Right now. Third is what clues tell me this, or the evidences to support this. These will be in the case itself. 4 is why is this happening? 5, what should I do? The management. So listen to me. You don't need to learn medicine, like more medicine first. What you need is to learn how doctors organize and express the medicine they already know. Once you start changing the way you thought or think through the cases, studying becomes much more clear.